Hi guys, it's Millie with Millie's Vines. I am back and it is a new year. I hope you guys are all off to a good 2024. I wanted to do a quick video on my personal favorites from 2023 in my collection, and then I also wanted to share some plants that are a little bit newer that I'm excited to grow come 2024. So if you'd like to see my recap, stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for being here, and yeah, let's get into it. We are going to start in this corner over here. If you have seen my original plant tour, you will recognize that this is kind of a completely different setup, but I cannot help myself. I'm rearranging constantly. But I would say my favorite plant from 2023 is honestly this Philodendron Jungle Boogie. I can't even tell you guys why I'm so obsessed with it. I think it's the leaf silhouette and then how dark green this plant gets. It's just stunning. This is one of the older leaves. This is a new leaf unfurling right here. This is a pretty new leaf here as well. I just think it's so easy. It's so beautiful. It's not a super pricey plant, and it's also a plant that I think is like self-hedging. I want to say that's what they call these. So if anything, it just gets more bushy and more full. It's not necessarily a trailing plant, a climbing plant, or a crawling plant. So it's good. It's a big plant, but it doesn't take up too much space. I just have to highlight this one. It is okay if you underwater it. Probably doesn't want to be overwatered, but it's just a really happy plant. It's getting south-facing lighting, and it's just really happy to be here. So Philodendron Jungle Boogie is my first favorite from 2023. Another honorable mention is this guy right here. I am not going to try to pronounce its genus and species name, but if you know, you know. This is a spiral cactus, and it is just stunning if my camera would focus. You can also see I have probably about 4 inches of new growth here. It's grown quite a bit. It's honestly such an easy plant. It can take periods of drought. It definitely does not want to be overwatered, but it's just so easy and it's stunning. I rotate this pretty frequently just so it doesn't start leaning off to the side, which it's doing now. So I'm actually gonna rotate this as we speak. But super happy plant, and it's just gorgeous. Even people that I have over to my house that see this plant that aren't even into it, they just love it. And now, actually, that I'm looking at this closer, it has webbing on it. Oh my gosh. So I know what I will be doing after this video. This is the newest plant in my collection. This is a Amydrium Silver, I believe is how you pronounce this. If you guys watch Wild Fern, you know she has an absolutely stunning specimen here. And I saw this at a new plant shop that I found, and it is just gorgeous. This is the oldest leaf. It's dying off. It looks kind of sad. I should probably cut it, but I don't know. Sometimes I cut it, sometimes I let them hang on. But this is a plant that I am so happy to be growing 2024. I'm excited to see what it does. If you look here, I've actually got a ton of new growth on this plant. We have 1 leaf there, 1 leaf here, which is actually coming along really nicely. I think if you guys can see this one here too, that's going to be a new growth. We got a little aerial root right here, which is exciting to see. And then I'm pretty sure, I thought there was a 4th bud somewhere, maybe just 3 leaves, but honestly I'm not mad at that. I will say I've done some research on this plant, and there's a lot of hate around the Amydrium Silver, which is understandable. It seems like it's a pretty slow grower is the biggest complaint that I see. A lot of people say that it's rather leggy too, so I think this is going to be one of those plants that you're going to have to chop often, propagate often, and kind of just constantly work on the aesthetic of how it's growing. But it's such a gorgeous plant, even if it's kind of just a 2-leafer for a while. I'm happy to have it. It kind of reminds me of a Cebu Blue, but just a little bit more unique. The coloring, the fenestrations, the veinations running through. I love this plant so much. If you guys are familiar, good or bad comments, any helpful tips, let me know, because this is kind of my favorite new baby, I'm not gonna lie. This plant right here is newer in my collection. I've been wanting a Dakia Camouflage for quite some time. They are just so unique. Each leaf has different forms of irrigation, speckles. I don't know what it is about this plant. I just think it's so gorgeous. This is a kind of small specimen, but I'm hoping that it grows pretty quick. It's just beautiful. This is a new leaf right here, and then I think we got a new leaf there and one coming in. So again, this one's new to my collection. I'm excited to watch this one grow in 2024, and it's just so gorgeous, so unique. My one tip with Dieffenbachia that I've noticed is they need a decent amount of water and they don't want to dry out too much. So I have learned that you kind of got to stay on top of the watering, otherwise they will lose these bottom leaves and become a little bit leggy. So just a kind of PSA. And we are moving on, yet another philodendron. This is a Philodendron Pastazanum. You are looking at the new leaf right here. Welcome to the club. She is gorgeous. I know some people are either into crawlers or you aren't. They definitely take up a little bit of space, but as long as you feed them kind of a lot and they get a lot of light, they're super happy. I don't have so far an issue with this one being super leggy. The oldest leaf is right back here, but this plant is so hardy. It's actually pretty easy, I won't lie. It's very thirsty. I water this one honestly a lot, so that's probably the only thing, but super happy plant. It's gorgeous, super pillowy, and each leaf, this is the second newest leaf, just keeps sizing up. This one's probably going to get significantly bigger as it hardens off, but such an easy plant if you want to get into something a little bit more rare, if you want a crawler. The Dean McDowells are also super nice, and obviously the Philodendron gloriosum, which pretty much everyone has heard about, but this is a stunning plant. I have heard that you have to stay on it when it comes to pest control sometimes with these, so that would be one recommendation, but it's so shiny, it's so happy, and honestly, it's a pretty quick grower, so definitely love this plant from 2023. Now we got my Philodendron Prince of Orange. I know some of you guys are probably tired of me shouting out this plant so much, but it's just stunning. I've had this plant for 3 years. It's massive. It is so easy. If you want a pop of color, this is one of the best ones ever to get. There's also a Imperial Red version, which is a little bit darker, a little bit more red. I think they have a Black Cardinal too, which just, you know, different colorway, but this one is just so happy, so beautiful. It is always putting out new leaves, very easy to find at your local nursery stores, not super expensive. I cannot recommend this plant enough. It is just an absolute staple in my collection, and look how big she is. She's massive. We love her. We are in my bedroom now, and I have to shout out this Hoya. This is the first Hoya that I have had that has bloomed for me, and you guys, I actually shed real tears when I saw that it was starting to bud. I've got 2 blooms, and they smell kind of like orange blossoms. It's just a absolutely magical experience. It would also be super magical if my camera would focus on these blooms, but I might have to do that afterwards, so sorry guys. But this one I have only had for, I would say, like a couple months. It is January when I'm filming this, and I can tell myself and a lot of other people who have this plant have been talking about how the blooms are just popping off this winter. So it is stunning. The smell is magical. I know some people do have issues with this plant. I'll plug in the, I'm honestly blanking on what this is called. I know it's like a silver Eskimo or something like that, something with a K, but I think people struggle with watering on this one, like root rot, I've heard a lot. I've had no issues, to be honest. I do find that it's a little bit more thirsty, but I also let it dry out just a decent amount because I do not want to overwater it. But 2 blooms on this one. It's gorgeous. It's my first Hoya to bloom, and I've had them in my collection for 3 years, so this was a super exciting experience for me. I'm going to shout out both of these plants here. So this is a philodendron. I mixed a lemon lime in with the Brazil, and it is just growing in so nicely. This plant is honestly tangled up. It is hitting the ground. If I actually untangle it, it is just massive. These plants are just so happy to be here. They're so easy, prolific growers. This is going to be a staple in my collection for literally forever. So love it for 2023. Love it for any year, honestly. And then same thing with my Cebu Blue. The lighting isn't the best here, but what I will say with this plant is you got to chop it. You can see I chop it quite frequently. The second you notice any gaps in the leaves, chop it, prop it, put it back in the top. And if you do that, you start to encourage a lot of new growth towards the top of the plant. So that's my only thing with this one. It can get a little bit leggy, but just do not be afraid to chop this plant. It really encourages new growth and it just helps make for a prettier plant, and it's just so pretty. The detail, the color, the texture. I love this plant. I will always love this plant, and I can't wait for it to get as long as my Philodendron over here. We have some yard work going on outside, so I hope you can hear me okay, but this is a Fishtail Cactus. It's not the actual correct Greek name or Latin name, I forget, but it is a super cool plant. Again, Wild Fern has one of these that's super long. I can't wait for this plant to get a couple feet long. I just think it's super cool. I'm not totally sure if these spikes are actually like spiky and prickly, but it's really, really nice. It sun stresses occasionally too, so you get that pretty like red tip. It's a really gorgeous plant. Super excited to see that one grow. I think the last two outside that I am super happy to watch grow over the coming year is this guy. I do not know what he is. I just know he's beautiful, kind of like a blue-green color. And then over here we have the infamous Booby Cactus, which is so beautiful. I've got a super small one. She's really cute. I think she might not like the winter too much right now, but I can't wait until that one gets a little bit taller, and I'm just super excited to watch them both grow. I think they're really, really pretty plants. And then one of my favorites always is the Euphorbia White Ghost. It's honestly a pretty fast grower, and I just think it's stunning. I love it. It's easy to prop and chop too. Just a really gorgeous plant. Area isn't super on topic for the theme of today's video, and this just looks wild. If you guys have watched some of my prior videos, you might have seen I used to have a Philodendron iridescence. It was actually this guy, but I had to chop it all up. It was climbing up here, and then I also had this guy. It is a Philodendron Florida Beauty. I chopped both of these because they were just super leggy. I underwatered them. So it was like a bare vine from here all the way up to here, and then we had leaves coming up. So I just chopped it. Did I chop it in the middle of winter? Yes. Was that my best decision? No. But I don't know. You know how sometimes you just have that itch and you just got to get it over with? Moment of silence too. This is the Philodendron iridescence chocolate. So you can see it's kind of like a dark brown burgundy color. Look at the difference from this leaf, how dark and gothic it is, to this. This is the regular, I think it's same plant, Philodendron iridescence, but I think this is just either the regular variety or the pink, but the difference in color is just astounding. So long story short, I just wanted to show you this because you can propagate in the winter. It's not recommended, but I am hoping in a couple months I will have roots. I can regrow these. I have some random Syndapsis cuttings, Cebu Blue, because like I said, I am constantly just chopping this so it's not leggy. I also, this is kind of sad, but I had a Rhaphidophora, which you might have seen in prior videos, that was going up that main little track right there, and it was going to the left and to the right, but I think it was getting sunburnt. Then I moved it and it was super unhappy, so I had to chop up that whole entire plant, which was kind of traumatizing and super sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm in my propagation era apparently, so there will be videos on this to come once these hopefully grow some roots. So I just wanted to share that with you guys too. This is a little bit new. I don't totally love the way the space looks, but we're just calling this my propagation station. Also, quick tip, I can do a DIY on this. I don't think I've done one for YouTube. I have it on my Instagram, my TikTok, but myself and my boyfriend made this, and I was able to move the light. It used to be super high up, but I actually brought it down, so it's able to be a little bit closer to these propagations. So it's a little bit brighter for them. I cannot recommend this setup enough. It worked out really well for me, but just thought I would share that. I did want to share a couple plants that are on my wish list for 2024, if I acquire them or not. is to be determined, but my first one on my list is the Hoya linearis. I will insert a picture right here, but I absolutely love that plant. I know that sometimes it can be an issue if you ever get pests on it, but I think it is gorgeous. It has been on my wish list on one of my prior YouTube videos as well. I will just honestly perish if I ever find that in stores. I'm at the point where I might just order it online because I want it so bad, so we will see. That one is high up on my list. I also would love a varicosum still. I love the back of those leaves. I kind of want a climbing philodendron that really sizes up well. So if you guys have other recommendations, I would love to know, because I want a varicosum so bad. But at the end of the day, I just want something that I can put on a moss pole, can crawl, and I can kind of watch it just grow and mature. So I think those are the two that I can think of so far. I really want to work on my Philodendron Houseplants too, my silver sword. I love that plant. I found that it's easy but finicky at the same time, so I'm kind of propping and chopping mine and trying to make a new plant. It's easy sometimes, it's hard other times. I think other people can relate to that too. But I think those are my main wish list plants. There's a couple Hoyas too. They were on my wish list. They're still on my wish list to this day. But the Hoya, I think it's Wilbur Graves, something like that. It's a silver one. Oh, it is gorgeous. I think Wildfern has that as well. How many times can I mention her? But I think that is pretty much it. There's also a Hoya pollinera. It's variegated. It's really, really, really beautiful. I saw that one in a plant shop recently. I did not get it. I kind of regret that, but I think those are my highlights for 2023 plant-wise, and then plants that I'm excited to grow come 2024, plus some wish list plants. So I would love to know what you guys are on the market for 2024, your favorite plants from 2023, any recommendations for myself and others in the comments, I would appreciate. And yeah, if you guys have ideas for other videos you'd like to see, I'm gonna get more into plant care too, if that would be of interest. And come springtime, we're gonna be into the repotting territory, so I'll do some repots with you guys as well. Another thing I was thinking of is going to local plant shops and kind of just showing you guys what I have in the area. I love watching those videos, so if that would be of interest, just let me know. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great rest of your January, and until next time guys, thank you.